There's a fight brewing in Abu Dhabi. Israel Adesanya putting his middleweight belt on the line against Paulo Costa at UFC 253. Both fighters unblemished, both apt to stand up and swing. Meet me in the middle. Let's see who ends up standing. UFC 253 main event between Adesanya and Costa. Only the second time two undefeated UFC male fighters square off for a belt. The champion, the last style bender, making his second middleweight title defense. 8-0 in the UFC. The eraser, Costa, a perfect 13-0, 11 of those coming in knockouts in round one. Adesanya attacked the legs early, often, going back to those leg kicks, tagging Costa down low. He landed 15 leg kicks in the first round. In the second, he goes up top. Adesanya throws the head kick that lands, glances off of Costa. Amazing that he stayed up, but it was the beginning of the end. Costa overmatched in this one. In round two, Adesanya connects with a left hook, dropped Costa, followed up with some strikes on the ground, and the ref stepped in. Israel Adesanya retains his middleweight title via second round TKO. It's his second defense of that title. Paulo Costa losing his first fight as a pro, dropping to 13-1 on his career. The style bender keeps the strap. Here's a look at your winning wagers. Adesanya was your favorite at -190, comes through. If you had him via KO or TKO, that was +140. Under the 1.5 rounds, paid 2-1. Your most popular wager was style bender on the money line, and it's a winner. In the co-main event, Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz for the vacant light heavyweight championship. Blachowicz has won 7 of his last 8 fights, and many thought Dom Reyes beat John Jones in their title fight back in February. Reyes lost a split decision to Jones. Pick it up late first round. Blachowicz lands a right and a left, follows up with a kick to the body. Looking sharp early on and pushing the pace would welt the side of Reyes. Then late in the second, Blachowicz connecting on hooks to the head. And how about mixing in a head kick? And then moments later, Blachowicz would land a left hook that wobbled and dropped Reyes. He'd follow him to the ground and seal the deal with the ground and pound. Jan Blachowicz wins via second round TKO and becomes the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion. Finishes the man that many believed beat the light heavyweight GOAT, John Jones. Blachowicz becomes the first light heavyweight champion not named John Jones or Daniel Cormier since 2011. So Jan Blachowicz, all roads in the light heavyweight division go through that man now. Here's a look at the winning wagers. Blachowicz was your underdog in this fight at +210. If you had him via TKO, it was +450. Over 1.5 rounds was -275, but we got there. And the most popular wager was Reyes on the money line. He was a -260 favor, and those are losing tickets. Only way to wrap up a night like this in the Octagon is with our Hall of Famer, Sugar Rashad Evans, fresh off a birthday and celebrating with us here on CBS Sports HQ. Rashad, a happy belated is in order, but we got to get down to the fights. Last time out, Israel Adesanya kind of lulled us to sleep with the decision over Yoel Romero. That was not the case on Saturday night. A leg-kicking exhibition wrapped up with the left hand off the temple in the second round. Is this more what you expected from the reigning middleweight champion here?
Absolutely. You know, Izzy came in there very determined, very focused, and methodical at the same time. You know, he had a game plan to go in there and take out the mobility of Costa, and Costa didn't do himself any favors by just standing in front of Israel. I don't know if it was a mishap in the game, but for the most part, when you're looking at this matchup on paper, you know that the best chance that Costa has is moving forward, putting pressure on Izzy, getting him to make errors on his exit, and then maybe hitting him with one of those big clubbing punches that Costa's known for. But he didn't do that. He stayed in the center a little bit too long, and he allowed Izzy to take that leg apart from him and just really mess up the mobility. And once the mobility of that leg was messed up, once that leg was hurting, it was just easy picking for Israel to just hit him anywhere else. As you see, the leg kick just hitting off top of the head, because once that leg kick the leg is hurting from the leg kicks, it really makes it hard to just defend anything else because the pain is so great in that leg. And you know, great masterful performance by Israel Adesanya, and he goes to show, you know, this is what legacy is made of. This is what champions are made of. In order to be the man, in order to be the legacy, in order to be the guy who is going to replace Anderson Silva, he has to be able to make a statement like tonight, and he did that.
Yeah, he spoke with some reverence after about taking that mantle after Anderson Silva. He seems to be right there squarely where he needs to be with his legacy. And the question coming in was, would Costa be able to go into deep water, the place he's never been in those championship rounds? That's a question we do not get an answer to. But a question I want to ask you here is, there seems to be no mountain that Stylebender isn't willing to climb. He's called out the biggest and the baddest in the game. Where does a talent like this go from here?
Well, I mean, star is the limit. I mean, he can go as high as he wants to because he's challenging himself in the right areas. You know, you see a lot of guys who want to challenge a lot of other people. It seems for the most part that Stylebender is really challenging himself and taking on all comers. And when you're able to take on all comers, no matter who they are, no matter what style they present, that's when you're really challenging yourself. That's when you're really bringing the best out of yourself. And once you know as an athlete the competition with yourself, then the sky is the limit.
Well, the co-main was equally as entertaining. Jan Blachowicz, surgical in his dismantling of Dom Reyes. So much was made of Reyes in his last performance against John Jones, but Blachowicz, none too impressed. Now the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. Rashad, what impressed you most about this, I guess, surprise underdog performance from the Polish Power here?
You know, the Polish Power was just, very consistent and just, chipping away at Dom Reyes and just having little successes throughout the night. But he let those little successes really add up to a lot. And the telling point was when he bloodied up Dom's nose. And at that point, he knew he can go in for the kill. But it was just simple pressure. And, the John Jones hangover effect is super real because it happens all the time. We've seen it happen with Alexander Gustafsson after he had that epic fight with John Jones. He was remembered as, beating John Jones, and he even got the cover of the UFC gaming. That's how people were impressed with people were with his fighting style. But after that, you didn't see him match that performance. And I think that's the same thing we've seen with Dom. Just the hangover effect with John Jones, feeling like he won that fight and really feeling like he was an uncrowned champion. But Jan Blachowicz has something else to say about that tonight.
The full gamut of striking from Jan Blachowicz, now your light heavyweight champion of the world. Like we said, Rashad, happy birthday to you and yours. We appreciate you joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Go celebrate for us.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.